Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Ben Sorensen's Real Country Interviews, bringing you the stars of country.
It's Ben Sorensen here, and lucky enough to be joined by, you call her the voice of McLeod's daughters, BEC LAVELLE. G'day, how you doing?
I'm great, Ben. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, that's all right, anytime. You're relatively new. I haven't spoken to you before, so it's really, really exciting for me because I've listened to some of your tracks and you've just got an awesome sound.
Oh,
so,
thank you so much.
Tell me a bit about your story.
Yeah, look, I've grown up in the entertainment industry, I guess. My parents took me to dance class for my 3rd birthday, and I apparently cried and didn't want to leave, so it's been ongoing ever since. And really did spend most of my sort of childhood and teenage years as a full-time dancer. And look, I attended Brent Street, which is a performing arts school down here in Sydney, in 1999, and I went in a dancer and came out a bit of a singer. So there were too many injuries with the dancing, and I really loved the singing. It was just another sort of area to sort of get people on an emotional level, and also just really enjoyed it. So I've been in choirs all of high school. So
and what made you
enjoyed it?
So what drove you to country?
Well, my mum's side have all lived in Tamworth my whole life, so I've been attending the Country Music Fest ever since I can remember, just every January, and I think country these days is just expanding. You know, it's not the older style country, you know.
I'd almost call country today a hybrid mix of traditional Australian country and a Nashville sound.
Exactly, and it is pop, and it's, you know, anyone can sort of really appreciate country now. And if you came out saying, I'm cautious about putting a tag on myself and saying I am a country singer, because you automatically lose an audience that are just so anti-country that I just think, you know, I just let them play the songs and hear it, and then they might like it or they might not like it. But it's certainly, I've been told it's not country, which is I'm quite happy about, you know.
Yeah.
But with the McLeod history, you obviously don't want to turn around and bring out a punk rock album.
As tempting as that is.
Yeah, exactly. It's tempting if, you know, do a Yoko Ono or something to censor and bring out an interesting experimental album. But I would hate to turn my back on the people that have been so supportive of the McLeod's music. It is an interesting sound in itself and hasn't really been done a lot before. So I've been pleased to have had that exposure.
Now, you've done quite a lot of performing around the place. Carols by Candlelight in Melbourne and Sydney. You're at the main arena at the Sydney Royal Easter Show since 2005. That's a big call there. And you went over to entertain the troops. Tell us about that experience.
That is something I will never forget, and still to this day has been the highlight. You know, flying over Baghdad in Black Hawk helicopters is something that not many people will ever get a chance to experience, you know. And I've been twice now. On the second trip is actually where I met James Blundell. And yeah, it's you know, a lot of people have been very supportive of me going over there because I listened to Becky Cole's Poster Girl a lot because there were obviously people that didn't like this that would go over there as performers supporting the war. But I actually look at it as the fact that, you know, there are men and women over there doing what they love to do, as I do as a singer, and, you know, we're not supporting the war as such, but they do get very intense over there and they need some relief, and we can do that by going over and singing and entertaining them and just, you know, being there to have chats with them and just taking their mind off some stuff for a while. Then that's worth it, you know.
Now, you're doing a tour with Pete Dennehy and James Blundell, so what's going on with that?
Oh, too much fun is what's going on. I can't believe we get to go away and do this sort of stuff, you know, but I'm loving the show. It's in a completely different format to any normal, you know, tour show that I've seen or been a part of in the past. Most people expect to sort of, you know, rock up to a show and, you know, they might go, oh, look, you know, the support acts on will turn up at like 9 or 10 o'clock when the main act hits the stage. Well, 3 or 4 songs in, I've got James and Pete both on stage playing backing vocals.
Wow.
For me. So it's a nice bit of a songwriter in the round type thing, I guess, you know. The expense these days of getting full bands and backline on the road is truly expensive, so we wanted to minimise that. And I guess by doing each other's music and harmonies and backings and things like that, it really does create a nice, intimate feel for the audience as well as us as performers.
The great thing about the show is it goes back to basics. It's just 3 talented people singing with guitars on a stage, and, you know, you just can't get more entertaining than that.
Yeah, and, you know, no smoke and mirrors, really. You know, if something goes wrong, the audience sees it.
Yep.
No way of pretending that, you know, oh, just keep playing, you know, no one will notice. But the audience usually have a laugh and we keep going about our business. But I'd never met Pete before the tour, and truly one of the funniest, most entertaining and talented men I've ever met. And James, you know, as I said, we only met 2 years ago, but I feel like I've known him for 10, so the 3 of us are having a great time on the road. And of course we've got Jeff Mercer, who's an instrumental genius as well, so it's been a barrel of laughs.
I reckon it would be. Now tell me about the single that we're going to play very, very soon, Many Things, from your album, Intimate Portrait.
It's the first track off the album, and it was written by a very dear friend of mine, Carl Brodie, who's blues and roots and country, and he had written it and knew it wasn't really his sort of thing, and he played it to me one day, and I said, don't play it for anyone else. If you're happy with it, I'm happy to sing it. And just really thrilled. It's a light sort of, fantastic song, and I just was really happy to have it as the first track off the album.
If you'd like more information about Beck, you can visit her website, www.becklavelle.com. Thank you so much, Beck Lavelle. This is her single, Many Things, from her first album, In the Portrait.
Cheers, Ben.
Never noticed until now how the morning bird song brings in the new day. Never noticed before now. Do those bells ring out that tune before today? And I recall your mysterious eyes. Night falls and they come alive. Did I tell you as the world turns, you leave me standing still? Did I sing it out loud? If I didn't, you know I will, for it's just one of the many things I know. Yeah, it's just one of the many things I know as I learn about you. They go picking stars, one for you and one for me. Bring me all colors that you see. How do I let you know you're just like me? And I recall your mysterious eyes. Just when I thought my heart and birds had died. Did I tell you as the world turns, you leave me standing still? Did I sing it out loud? If I didn't, you know I will, for it's just one of the many things I know. Yeah, it's just one of the many things I know as I learn about you. Never noticed before now. Yeah, you and me can spin it all around. I have no doubt. Did I tell you you're my first waking thought? Did I tell you got me daydreaming? You're the last thing I see as I lay my head to sleep. You're the last thing I see as I lay my head to sleep. Yeah, that's just one of the many things I know. Yeah, that's just one of the many things I know. Yeah, that's just one of the many things I know as I learn about you.
Another Ben Sorensen Real Country interview. Hear this interview and many more at www.realcountrymix.com.